Well, this is what I'm working on today, is a single freezer. A customer got this used and it wasn't working very good. The door's not even on straight, and Continental, it's not the most expensive brand there is, but it's just a standard single door freezer, and it smells real good inside. Try not to breathe too close to it. 404A, and what I found was somebody had put a hard start kit on there. I mean, it's working. I don't like these. I'll go with the original components if I have to change a component. I don't carry these around in my truck, and I don't like them. If I'm really super desperate, then I'll get one, but like I said, I'll get the recommended start capacitor and relay for this compressor if this goes bad. What I find is little solid state relays in here don't last that long. I mean, you might get a year or two out of it or something like that, as compared to, you know, 7, 8, 10 years out of the standard components. Now you can see this, the white labels are brownish, which means this compressor has run hot in the past. What's happening right now is somebody installed a straighter fitting on going into the compressor, the access fitting here, and that's the only access I had. I didn't have a high side port. My suction pressure for 404 was, I think, was like 36 pounds pressure, which is kind of okay-ish. It's a freezer. My liquid line here, I don't have an access point on it, which I'm going to put one in over here so I can put my high side gauge on it, and I'm going to change the dryer filter and the refrigerant. This liquid line was extremely hot, and it shouldn't be. The condenser is clean. I can see through it. I can see light through it, and it's not dirty on the other side. And the fan was working good. Although I see something right now. The fan blade is backwards. I don't know if we can see that. I just saw that right now. See the cup on the blade? The cup on the blade is goes this way. So somebody changed this fan blade in the past and put the blade on backwards, and probably since then it probably hasn't worked good and cold. So I'll fix that. We need to draw air. We need to draw air over through the condenser. The air has to come through the condenser, over the fan motor, and over the compressor. That's the direction of the airflow. It's supposed to come this way. And you can see that's probably the main problem. But like I said, I'm going to change the dryer filter because it's a good thing to do. And put new virgin refrigerant. There's only a few ounces in the system. And I'm going to put a Schrader T over here for servicing. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. Okay, just pull the motor up.
Pull the motor up?
Yeah, just pick it up. You might have to bend a little tubing. Watch the blade doesn't get bent too much.
You get it from this angle. Oh, look at that. Ta-da!
Beautiful, look at that. Sharp edges.
It's not like ground them.
Nice.
I deburred them, so.
Very good, very good.
I cleaned it so you don't get.
Just tell Kimberly to keep the eggs out of there, you know.
And when you won't need a shower when you put it back on.
That's not coming out. I mean,
tip it back. You know what you gotta do is you gotta loosen up these screws here. See these two?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, and then push the whole condenser forward. Okay, we changed the fan blade around, and you can see the cup now is this way, so it'll pull the air. Hopefully this is a clockwise fan motor. Somebody changed it in the past. When I start it up, I'll see. The motor looks a little stiff. I've been running hot because it was running backwards. We'll take the screw out. There's a little screw here. We'll take that screw out and put a little oil into it. Let's see, I installed a dryer filter. I didn't have a 5 cubic inch, so I put an 8 in there. I usually carry the 8s around with me. They're just convenient. And it's a little bit oversized, but it won't hurt anything, it'll just help. And I'm not charging it to the exact ounces on the unit, I'm charging it by my gauges. I put a Schrader fitting here, T for the high side. And we're pulling a vacuum on it right now, and it's just started. So it'll be a little while before we get it down. But that's where we're at. Okay, we got it running, charged it up, pulled the vacuum on it. We got 23 pounds, 24 pounds suction, and 284 head. It's a capillary tube, 404A. Your head pressure is a little higher usually on a capillary tube system. And it's hot in the box now. Once it gets cold, the head pressure will drop and the suction pressure will drop. My VAP is at -8, I'm almost -9. That'll probably drop a little bit too. But we got the new dryer filter in it, and I wrote the date on it. I put a Schrader fitting on right there. A Schrader fitting on the high side so I could hook up my gauges to it. And I got the Schrader, there's a Schrader fitting that was on the low side. Before when I came here, this liquid line was running extremely hot. That's because the fan blade was backwards and it wasn't taking the heat out of the evaporator. And now it's just slightly warmer than room temperature is how I usually gauge it. It should be slightly warm, and that's where we're at. And especially now it should be warm because the inside the cabinet is warm. Once it gets colder, it'll cool off a little bit, a little less heat in the system. And someday I'm going to change this to probably wait until either it goes bad, I'll put the old components, the right components back on it, or if this compressor looks like it's run hot. You see how everything's, this lettering should be white and it's brown. That's usually a sign that the compressor has run very hot. And it ran hot because the head pressure was high because the condenser fan blade was backwards. Very common thing to make, mistake to make. You got to make sure that cup is going in the right direction. You can't put the cup backwards because it'll just bat the air. And very common mistake. Usually young technicians make that mistake, and you have to make sure that that's working properly. It won't work right if you and it's somebody put that on there a long time ago. I mean, it's been years like that. And that's the guy that owned this box. It probably never got cold enough for him, and he finally sold it to the used equipment dealer and bought a new one because of it, because that blade was backwards. This guy here, my customer, he went to the used equipment guy and found this box and bought it, and it wasn't working right, so he had me look at it, and luckily we found the problem. So that's it, guys. That was an easy one. It wasn't that hard to do, but we got it taken care of. So later.